I'm going to make a dish with some leftover spaghetti, some pesto, some leftover veg. I've got some courgettes, and some potatoes and some beans. It's a really good way of using up things you might have left over, like spaghetti and some veg from a roast. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some new potatoes which have been cooked, and I'm just going to slice those up. So in a frying pan, I'm going to heat up some oil. This is sunflower oil, but you could use groundnut. So the veg, I've got courgettes, they're in season. I've just cooked a few too many, but you could use things like peas or broad beans. You can maybe put in a handful of spinach, any green veg really. Maybe if you've got some roasted peppers left over, anything like that would be delicious, just tossed through with the spaghetti. So while I'm waiting for the oil to heat up, the other thing I'm going to do is just chop up some garlic, just one clove of garlic. I'm going to cook that quite slowly. I don't want it to take on too much colour. I don't want to burn the garlic, just for it to release some of its flavour. That oil is then going to be used for tossing through the potatoes and the other ingredients that we've got. I've kept the skins on the potatoes, but if I wanted to, I could peel the potatoes, take the skins off. I think there's nice flavour in the skin, so I'm going to leave those on. So I'm just going to season that lightly with a little bit of salt, just to bring out the flavours. Obviously there's salt in the pesto that we're going to use, so I'm not going to go overboard with the salt. Get some pepper in there as well, just to season as we go. That's just gently frying. I don't want to sort of give it too much colour. It's really just to sort of almost warm the ingredients up because they've already been cooked. So into there I can put some of my courgettes. And while those warm through, put in a couple of spoons of beans as well. So it's quite a robust dish. There's quite a bit going on. So just checking the seasoning as I go. Just going to brighten it up a bit with a bit more salt just to bring the flavours out. And ingredients are just gently warming in the pan. So what I've got is a really good pesto, just a really good jarred pesto. I mean, you can make your own pesto, but it's a great thing to have to hand. So that was about three tablespoons of the pesto. That's gone in. I'm just going to stir that together. So what I'll do is I'll pop some pasta in my pan of boiling water to refresh that. Now one thing I'm going to do is just take a little ramekin or a jug, and I'm just going to take some of the pasta water out of the pan and pop it in with our ingredients, just to sort of make it a bit more saucy. Some of the starch sort of helps it gain a little bit of thickness. I'm just going to pop that in there, bring those together. So I'm going to pop the spaghetti in with the other ingredients, and I'm just going to toss those together. And a couple of other things just to sort of liven it up. So I think a little bit of basil just to give it a freshness. So again, if you've got just a few little sprigs of basil left, having bought a sort of bunch that you can buy in a supermarket, a great way of just using it up. I think that'll do us. Just pop that in there. And I've got a little bit of Parmesan as well. So a little bit of Parmesan that's just left over. It says the rind end, but there's still plenty of good cheese on there that I'm going to use. So I've got a nice grater, a nice sort of microplane grater. Grate that in. Just going to toss this together, plate it up. Just going to pop this onto a plate fairly rustically, but I'll try and get it in the plate and not on the rim. That's always a nice thing. And that's our dish.